Tonight on Access AC Live, we take you inside Atlantic City's newest night spot, Ivan Kane's Royal Jelly Burlesque nightclub at Revel Resorts. It has it all. Live music, beautiful dancers, and get this, a striptease act that you've got to check out. Also, who says you can't find culture in Atlantic City? We'll introduce you to one guy who has the unique job of bringing public art to the shore. And finally, we have some advice from one local DJ to those trying to navigate the nightlife scene in Atlantic City. So, did I get your attention? Well, I hope so, because Access AC Live starts right now. Hey everyone, and welcome to the premiere of Access AC Live. I'm your host, Whitney Ullman. Reports of Atlantic City's death have been greatly exaggerated, and we're going to prove to you each week that AC is not only alive, but also an exciting, vibrant seaside resort that just has something for everyone. Whether it's a concert, festival, or something unusual, we'll try our best to bring you some of the things that we think you'll find interesting, like our first story. Club producer Ivan Kane has brought a new nightclub concept to Revel Resorts in Atlantic City, and it's turning heads with its mix of striptease acts, live music, and a light show. There's something for all the senses, and we talked to the man behind Atlantic City's newest titillating night spot. Tell us about Royal Jelly. How did you get the name and how did you get the concept?
Well, the concept comes from nightclubs that I've done in Hollywood and Las Vegas. And I met with the CEO of Revel, and he saw what I was doing in Vegas, and we started thinking about what it would be like to brand something exclusively for Revel here. So it's a burlesque nightclub just like I've done in the past, but we've taken it to the next level. We spent a lot of time designing the lights and the sound and the look of the club. So it's built for burlesque, but it's also built to be a nightclub. So we're an amalgam of several different experiences. You know, we have DJs and dancing, but when the anticipation builds to a palpable crescendo, all of a sudden the turntable right behind us spins, and there's a drummer on the other side, and a live swing and jazz trio comes out, and then dancers come out and start swinging boas around and taking off their clothes. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, right. Isn't that awful? It's so true. I mean, I've been here, and I don't party that much, but I've definitely been here and experienced this and brought people in here, and it is such a fun time. The ambiance is beautiful. The architecture in here is great. You could really tell that you did pay attention to the detail, and I think people appreciate that, and that's why you're still busy now, even after all of the devastation and things that we had, that we dealt with here in Atlantic City. And actually coming into that, I mean, Hurricane Sandy did some damage, but yet Atlantic City is here. We're thriving. We have a lot going on. The nightclubs are open. It's busy at Royal Jelly. How can people know to come here, and tell them why they should come and experience your nightclub?
Well, obviously there was a lot of devastation from Sandy, but Atlantic City really wasn't that badly damaged. I mean, there was a piece of boardwalk that got washed away that was going anyway.
Right, it was old, yeah.
But people think the whole boardwalk was devastated, and the casinos aren't open, but we're open, we're busy. You know, you can go to amazing restaurants and, of course, amazing nightclubs. And Royal Jelly, people, fortunately, are coming in droves because, you know, we all need a break once in a while. And it's a very strange position I find myself in, you know, with people dealing with so much, unhappiness and disaster. You know, sometimes you feel pangs because you're in here and the music's playing and people are dancing. But really, you know, if we can bring some fun and relief and a break from that, you know, that's sort of something that I feel good about. And that's what we're doing. So we've been packed since Sandy, and we want people from Philadelphia and New York and Boston and Connecticut to know that we're here. The resort's open and everything's operating at 100%.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, I mean, everybody here is so professional, from the staff to the dancers. The dancers come from all over. Can you tell us about the process when they audition to work here?
It's a very tough thing to become a Royal Jelly dancer. I mean, we go all over the country. For this particular group of girls that we have now under contract, we went to Miami and New York and Las Vegas and Hollywood and Philadelphia. And we found incredible dancers. I mean, these girls have been dancing their entire lives. They're trained. They've been trained in ballet or jazz or hip hop. And if they're not dancing for me, they're either on tour with a major artist or they're in a Broadway show.
So tell us about coming to the nightclub. Are there any tips or tricks that we should know about, especially coming VIP, getting bottle service? What should people know? What should they wear when they come here?
You know, we say dress to impress. On Thursdays and Sundays, we're a little more relaxed.
Okay.
But we don't want to see people like they just came in off the beach.
Right.
Because everybody here is making an effort to come in and have a really great time. Fridays and Saturdays, the crowd is really kind of making the effort, dressed to the nines and looking great. A lot of gorgeous women. We always have 65% more women in the club than men, which is an interesting statistic that people don't expect. But that's the way it goes. And they get up on the stage and dance in between the shows. And, you know, it's great. And you could just queue up like at a normal nightclub, a traditional nightclub, and wait online, pay a cover, and come on in and dance and drink. Or you can go bottle service, and it's very reasonable. It's really kind of an interesting unknown fact because most people think it's so expensive to do VIP. But you don't pay the cover charge and you get a bottle for 4 people and it actually works out almost the same, but you've got your own private dance, pole, your own private area, your own private service, security, VIP bathrooms. It's a really fun way to go.
And I think an important note to say is when you said that the girls come up on stage, you mean the actual girls that are here attending the show.
The patrons,
the patrons, they go up on stage.
Yeah, you know, it happened organically in Hollywood and then in Vegas, we started noticing that this was part of the Royal Jelly experience. So here we actually built a staircase. So, you know, the shows come on and then they end and then it's just time to fulfill that fantasy. And literally 50, 60 girls are up on stage and they're dancing and just having a great time. They're 4 feet up the ground, but that 4 feet makes all the difference in the world. And they're definitely getting sexy and it's just, it's hot.
Tell us the website that we can go to find out more information.
Appreciate you mentioning it, RoyalJellyBurlesque.com. Lots of fun facts, lots of information about all the dancers, all the musicians, about the history of Ivan Kane's Burlesque, about the tours, lots of videos. You can see performances we've done, you know, all over the world, and you could see scenes from our Bravo show. They did a reality show about me going all over the world looking for dancers when we opened in Vegas. So there's lots of fun things.
Saturdays and Sundays, the dancers become instructors, and they will teach you some of the moves from the show in a private lesson. Check out our website for links to Ivan Kane's Royal Jelly Burlesque nightclub at Revel Resorts in Atlantic City. Don't go away because there's still so much more ahead on Access AC Live.
We live in a dangerous, uncertain world. Let Greenlee Security Services keep your business safe and secure. Greenlee Security Services has a history of proven success as a total provider in risk management. Our customer service is unparalleled with 24-hour access, in-house investigators, and security professionals that receive world-class training. Greenlee Security Services develops specialized, cost-effective responses to address the overall security needs of any size business. Visit greenleesecurity.com.
Watch Access AC Live Fridays at 7:30 on WMCN.
You're on your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. You're on your way. Five seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
welcome back. You're watching Access AC Live, and I'm your host, Whitney Ullman. More and more celebrity DJs are taking up residency here in Atlantic City, proving that this 24-hour party town has some appeal. Chelsea's resident DJ and promoter DJ Ahmed Khan visited us at our One Atlantic studio and offered some advice for people trying to break into the business. We're broadcasting at One Atlantic Events, which is a beautiful event center located at the Pier Shops at Caesars, overlooking the ocean. In fact, it's the only event center that overlooks the ocean and the boardwalk, the casinos, the people. It's so much fun here. So if you have an event, definitely check out One Atlantic Events. On today's show, we have a special guest, which we've seen before, is our resident DJ expert, DJ Ahmed Khan, and he's going to talk to us about getting a DJ job in Atlantic City and some other really cool facts that I bet you didn't know about. Thank you for coming on the show again, Ahmed.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about being a DJ. First of all, we learned that you're a DJ in a few of the nightclubs here. You've been DJing for many years. How does someone get a gig in a nightclub?
First, you have to become proficient at DJing.
Okay.
You have to develop your repertoire of the types of music and songs that you're going to play. And that kind of has to be in sync with what the crowd wants to hear.
Right.
So once you get the fundamentals of that part down, you can get into nightclubs in two different ways, usually. Some nightclubs are promoter-driven. And so what happens is promoters contract with the nightclub to do a promotion.
Okay.
And they bring in their DJ as a part of the night.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so a lot of the Euro night themed parties operate that way. Some of the hip hop parties operate that way. And so that's kind of neat because you get a chance to work at a lot of different clubs depending on the promotions that you're running with different venues.
And you work with certain promoters, and then that promoter will go to a club and say, hey, I could bring X amount of people to the club, but I need to have my DJ that night.
Exactly.
And then they pull you in.
And what ends up happening as well is the promoter starts to build a following. And so the crowd will follow a DJ from one venue to the next to the next.
That's interesting.
So that's definitely a selling point for a lot of different clubs in the city.
Yeah.
A second way that you can get into the DJ game here in Atlantic City is by contacting the entertainment departments of each of the casinos. A lot of them operate the casinos. The casinos operate the nightclubs directly. So probably the best way is find out who the director of entertainment is.
Okay.
Some of them have directors of nightlife. You can make an audio recording, CD usually, with the type of music that you play, and maybe a little portfolio, a picture of you,
Okay.
and maybe a little biography. And then contact the office and see if they've had a chance to listen to what you play.
How long of a track should it be?
It's tough because it also involves a certain level of networking.
Okay.
So, you go through the process of sending the demos to all of the entertainment directors, but if you know someone who's pretty popular in the area, like yourself, for example,
Right.
it helps to have a little bit of an in that way.
Right.
And the average CD lasts about 78, 79 minutes.
Okay.
Most folks don't have the time to listen to all of that. But
they get an
sometimes,
idea.
Yeah, they get a pretty good feel of listening to it for the first, few minutes or whatever.
Right. That's so cool. So basically, you can either go through the casino or you could go through a promoter.
Those are the two most common ways.
Most common.
The third way is if you produce music. And so you're a record producer, a record remixer. Those are some of the more popular DJs, not just in Atlantic City, but internationally. Guys like Avicii, Bob
Right.
Sinclair, David Guetta. Those folks get contracted to come in, Tiesto, and they make lots of money doing that.
And they have thousands of people come to see them.
But some of them aren't even remixers. Some of them are just famous people, like Pauly D, for example,
Right.
from Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Has a once-a-month residency over at the Harris Pool,
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. So there are a few different ways to get in. I think persistence is pretty important, and that's usually the way to get in.
Right, network good. One of the things you brought up was residency. What's the difference between a resident DJ and someone who just wants to DJ for a couple nights?
Resident DJs are contracted usually on a weekly basis, but occasionally on a monthly basis to show up and DJ at a club. So if you are the regular Thursday night DJ at the Providence nightclub, then you are considered the resident.
Oh,
and so what happens is when they bring in guest DJs to perform, you would open the night, you'd play for the first hour or so, and then when the headliner was scheduled to go, you would step aside and they
Let
would step
them.
up to the decks.
But that's cool though, because you're still the main person.
Yeah, you're usually most clubs feature you in a lot of their advertising. Sometimes on billboards you'll see the resident DJs get some airtime. Also in print ads, you'll see the resident DJs usually get a lot of mention.
That's cool. How does it work as far as cover when you're going to these clubs? Because sometimes I notice even when you're putting out things, it's no cover. Sometimes it's like $5 or $10 cover, and then there's guest lists. Tell us about that.
Average cover charge at nightclubs on Fridays and Saturdays is usually around $20 per person.
Okay, even for females?
Sometimes females they'll let in for free. I know the federal law says you're not supposed to discriminate between men and women, but what the casino clubs have found, and other nightclubs in the city, is that where the women go, the men follow.
Right.
And so typically, if they can get more women in the nightclub early, the men will follow, and the night will become popular. The men will spend money in an effort to try to buy drinks for the women, and the night just kind of flows from there. What a lot of the clubs do as well is they offer guest lists with the understanding that you'll buy an entire bottle of liquor, what we call bottle service. It originated in Europe and got very popular here in the United States about 5-7 years ago. So essentially you say that you're going to buy a bottle of vodka or a bottle of whiskey. They'll charge you somewhere in the neighborhood of $250 to $350 for it.
Right.
You get usually about 17 or 18 drinks out of it, but you get preferential seating, you get VIP status, there's no cover charge associated with that.
Right.
So, you know, sometimes it becomes a numbers game. If you show up with some friends at the club, it's like,
Right.
okay, $20 a person, there's 6 of us, it's $120 for cover, maybe we'll each buy a drink at, you know, $7, $10 a piece.
Right.
You know, maybe we should just get the bottle and
It's more cost effective.
And there's also a status to the VIP
Yeah.
and the bottle service lines. So usually the way that you get on is that you call the nightclub. They have daytime phone numbers, and then you can say that you'd like to get on the VIP list. I guess another way you could do it is through the promoters themselves. Sometimes they have their own lists.
Right.
And so if you can get on the promoters list, that usually gets you complimentary.
Find out promoters and, you know, find out how to get on the guest list. I mean, I think it should be something easy. And if someone wanted to get on your list, what is your website?
www.djahmedkhan.com. AHMEDKHAN.
Go to our website to find out more information about DJ Ahmed Khan. There's much more ahead on Access AC Live.
We live in a dangerous, uncertain world. Let Greenlee Security Services keep your business safe and secure. Greenlee Security Services has a history of proven success as a total provider in risk management. Our customer service is unparalleled with 24-hour access, in-house investigators, and security professionals that receive world-class training. Greenlee Security Services develops specialized, cost-effective responses to address the overall security needs of any size business. Visit greenleesecurity.com.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Watch Access AC Live Fridays at 7:30 on WMCN.
There's been a big push in Atlantic City to refresh its image from a dusty old resort to an international destination. agencies tasked with that job have hired a renowned art curator to transform vacant properties around town and create public art that will bring people together. The 5-year project is about to open its first 2 exhibits next week, and we get a sneak peek.
Hi, I'm Lance Fung. I'm the Chief Curator for Artlantic, and I was brought into Atlantic City to curate public art exhibitions for the next 5 years. Artlantic is a new sort of experiment for Atlantic City, and in fact for the whole world. It's the first time that an art exhibition is created to essentially develop public art spaces, meaning parks and meeting places, a place for the locals to hang out in, and also possibly for the visitors. For Artlantic Wonder, which is this year's exhibition, we're in 2 different locations. The smaller but very poignant, sweet, unique piece is right on the boardwalk, and it's right next to the Ritz. It's a piece by an artist named John Roloff and a landscape designer named Joe Chiron, and that's a first project. And then the second one is a bit more recognizable. It's a giant lot that's been empty since I think 2006, which is where the Sands Casino once stood. And now we have a giant art park. It's over 7.5 acres. Public art is a bit more specialized because it also has the least freedom, because often the work that you put in the public space needs to be vetted out by so many people. And because of that, it becomes a little less interesting for people in the art world because they feel as if they're almost handcuffed. Atlantic City doesn't have handcuffs on me as far as the curatorial vision, which is fantastic and a unique opportunity. But as far as my previous work, I've mostly curated for big projects around the world. I worked on a big project in the Arctic Circle, which was over $8 million, a project titled The Snow Show. I worked, and because of that success, then the Winter Olympics in Torino asked me to do their largest exhibition for the opening. So did the Beijing Olympic Games, worked in Santa Fe, and so I'm not a newbie. My belief is in order to have a project be truly successful, it needs to hit many different audiences. From the art world, which is a very specific, specialized audience, to children, to families, to locals, often to visitors or tourists, if it's that type of community. At the same time, not watering down the content or the quality of the work, so it just becomes wallpaper, something decorative. Still needs to have meaning and purpose. But one way to really engage the local community is, first of all, get to know them. Second of all, understand their abilities and their strengths so that you can learn from them. And third of all, through inclusion. All of our projects are free to the public, and so we hope you come and visit.
Visit our website at accessaclive.com for links to the Artlantic exhibit and Lance Fung's website. You'll find detailed information about current and future projects there. There's much more ahead on Access AC Live.
We live in a dangerous, uncertain world. Let Greenlee Security Services keep your business safe and secure. Greenlee Security Services has a history of proven success as a total provider in risk management. Our customer service is unparalleled with 24-hour access, in-house investigators, and security professionals that receive world-class training. Greenlee Security Services develops specialized, cost-effective responses to address the overall security needs of any size business. Visit greenleesecurity.com.
7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Let's catch them before it's too late. To start helping students in your community, visit boostup.org.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I want to thank you for watching our show. Check out accessaclive.com for web-exclusive videos and stories. As always, we like to hear from you, so please tell us what you like to do in Atlantic City, but let's keep it PG-13. Or you can just let us know that you're watching. You can follow us on Twitter at accessaclive, like us on Facebook, or just say hi when you see us hanging out. From the Access AC Live team, happy holidays, and we'll see you right back here next week with a whole new show. See you then.
Watch Access AC Live Fridays at 7:30 on WMCN.